and we'll send out this tweet because the tweet is the most important. Sending the tweet is out. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pillars Action. We definitely renamed it this week. So hold on while I get some Facebook stuff and some internet. Oh, why is this now doing some weird stuff? So you can we've got our very first guest is back with 51 drones. Why is this now not work? Go live. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it yet.
There we go. You don't see it on YouTube yet?
It's not coming up yet. I'll refresh it.
There it is. And see. There it is. So just so that everybody's aware, we may not get anybody that comes into this tonight because so I did a test about 2 hours ago, and I think I burned like my one notification of the day on that.
Oh.
So because it wouldn't let me set a reminder later. So we'll see if anybody actually watches because we're at 0 viewers right now.
I don't see it on mine.
Oh yeah, I see I am live. I see one watcher. So somebody is watching.
I'm going to back out and come back in.
Yeah, what's up everybody? So if you're coming back to the replay, if you did not get the notification for this live stream, that is 100% my fault. I decided to do a test today, and apparently when you do a test and you set it to private, you burn like your one notification of the week, I guess. Because normally we have like people watching. Are we still private? Is that? Oh, we're still private.
That's why.
That's the problem. Whoops. Your changes are being saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you might as well start over.
Yeah, now we're live. What's up, everybody? Did you see it now? Are you seeing it actually now?
Not yet.
Republic. Whoops. Oh, I hate when that happens. Okay, here, we'll stop streaming and then we'll start over again.
Sounds good.
That is embarrassing. You know, when you make... Okay. Facebook is just... We're going to have to give up. We're going to have to give up on Facebook today because it was everything. And here's what drives me crazy when trying to do this is it always works during the test and then it never works like when it's supposed to. So what's up, everybody? What's up, Bill Utah? Thanks for joining us tonight. You might be our only watcher tonight.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Because the Everyday Dad made a mistake. And that mistake was, I already explained it a second ago, but I think I burned like I think I burned our one shot. What's up, Oklahoma Droner? So maybe people are getting it now. Maybe the notification is going out because I 100% did a test earlier, and what that test did, I think, was, you know, burned the like the one. I think you get like one notification a day for live streams. So we'll go. What's up, Jonathan Maxwell?
Hey,
so
Jonathan.
Yeah, welcome to. I've been waiting to say this all day. I already said it once, but since everybody's not coming in, I've been waiting to say this all day. Welcome to. Well, hold on. I'm going to hold it for a second. So what we're doing today, everybody that's watching, I've got 51 drones with me. Thanks for joining us, 51 drones.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
And so what we are doing today is we're kind of rebranding. You probably saw the thumbnail. If you didn't, you'll see the thumbnail tomorrow and you can watch it again. But we're going to do this is going to become a weekly podcast, and we're going to do the guests like we have been doing. We finally kind of got everything set up in the new studio. So this is where, so I'll say like, hey, we're going to begin the podcast part. And if you want to see the podcast, you can catch it for the, the link in Twitter is dead. Hold on. That might be because we had to kill that live stream because of me being dumb, because that happens. Okay. So what we're going to do is if you want to watch or listen, I guess you can't watch a podcast. If you want to listen to this as a podcast, you'll find the link in the description below. But everybody, welcome to the Pillars of Action. Action. I can't do the sound effects from here. So thanks. I got with me 51 drones, awesome channel. So today 51, what I'd like to talk about is cameras. So I've heard you very recently got a new camera.
I may have gotten a new camera. Yes, I did. And my wallet is still smoking from it. But yes, I got the A7 III from Sony.
Nice.
And yeah, it was in stock at B&H for about a day, and so I showed my wife and I said, you know, Father's Day is in a couple of days. If you haven't got me anything yet, here you go.
Here's something. I know something that you could probably get me if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, so I got it. I ordered it on Monday, and it came on Thursday. So
Nice. So you've had it now for well, like 2 or 3 days, however
yeah,
long it is since Thursday. So how are you enjoying it?
uh, I love it. They call it the kind of the beginner's professional camera, where it has all the functionality of a professional camera, but at a consumer, regular guy price point. And it's really not a regular guy price point, but it's definitely much cheaper than, say like the A9. I think it's like $3,500. So
It's like $4,500.
is it really? Wow.
It's so expensive.
And I think it has just about everything, that has. And so, I've been shopping around for a while to get upgraded from my I had a Lumix G7. I still have it. It's on sale right now on eBay if you're interested.
Nice.
But it's been a good camera. But the biggest issue for me has been the autofocus. I've had to redo nearly every one of my videos when I do the talking head part of it. It's always focusing in and out from the background, and I was so frustrated having to redo that part of the video. And so I thought, well, I'm gonna look at the camera that has the best autofocus. So, there's a lot of them out there, and Sony definitely leads the game, I think, when it comes to autofocus, at least for 4K mirrorless. Canon, the Canon, has kind of been the master for most of the time, but Sony's got it going on when it comes to autofocus. I mean, this thing is on point instantly. I mean, there's no hesitation. There's no question as to what's in focus and what's out of focus. So
Absolutely.
And, yeah, it's great. I love it. I had a 6300 before, and that was a great camera also, but every time I shot in 4K, it overheated after 7 minutes. So I got rid of that right away. I couldn't stand that. Not that I shoot a lot of 4K, but
when you need it, you need it. Or
right.
when you want it, you want it.
Right, and I don't want it to overheat. So, and it wasn't even, I even got a cage. I got a rig cage for it, and that didn't help. I think maybe got another minute out of it. So yeah, I sold that, and it sold instantly. Like, I put it on eBay and it sold like 5 minutes later. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
so that was a good deal.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've been using my A7iii for about a month. I loved, well, I mean, obviously, because I make a video every other week about gushing about it. So it's,
Yeah.
no, I totally agree with you. It's a fantastic camera. If that's what, so we'll pause for questions at certain points. Like I said, this is the first time we're doing this, so it's kind of different. But we'll pause for questions and things in the middle. But like I said, we're kind of doing a podcast thing. But yeah, for the camera, I'm currently streaming on the A7iii. I think the A7iii is probably the perfect, like, content creator camera. It is the perfect camera because you can do things like you were saying. You never have to worry about the autofocus. Nothing, like, I want to love Panasonic cameras. Panasonic cameras have just about everything you could possibly need. It's got the great image quality. It's got the full HDMI out, unlimited recording. But when you're in front of the camera all the time, you can't, like, worry about, am I in focus? Am I in focus? And then it does that weird, like, all the contrast-based autofocus do it, where it does, like, that hunting in the background. It's like, come on.
Constantly. And the other thing with that is the battery drains so fast when it's doing that. Like my battery, my G7, like on your video that you posted the other day, first thing you do when you order a camera is you order an extra battery.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I did with the G7, and I definitely could have used 2 extra batteries, but so far I haven't used the A7iii that much, but I definitely know that I'm never gonna have to worry about having to switch batteries, when I'm doing a video. So
that battery life is unreal.
Yeah,
unreal.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to, get out and use it a little bit more. I currently don't have a class 3 card right now, so I really want to shoot some 120 frames per second, but it won't even let you record on a 2 card. So I got to go get a new card tomorrow and try out some slow motion stuff. So
it's so good. It's so good. I took this So this week, my family and I. So normally, everybody that's watching, normally the everyday wife is here with me. They're gone for vacation for the week, and I'm here by myself. But for Father's Day, they did get me, the best dad ever shirt that I'm wearing in honor of the family while they're
Wait,
gone. But
wait a minute. How can you be the best dad?
well, you're the coolest dad. I'm just the
Oh,
best.
oh yeah, it's cool.
You're the coolest dad. I'm just the best. It's different. It's different things.
Yeah, it's different.
But since they are gone, so this week we went to Mount Vernon, George Washington's, home, and I did everything was in 120 frames per second. And what's so nice, and so something else I want to talk about here in just a little bit is I've been trying out a Canon camera, the Canon mirrorless M50, which we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I've been pretty impressed with it. But something that I've noticed is maybe this is the same for all Canon cameras. I don't know. This is my first ever Canon camera, but something that's nice about using Sony cameras, or at least even the 6500, 6300 do the same, is if I'm like sitting here right now, I can put it in whatever ISO range I want it to be in that makes it work, and it'll look pretty good. You put this Canon mirrorless into 1000 and your skin starts looking like, I don't know, like it's not that it's overexposed, but it's like I can't describe it. It's just weird.
It's all about the skin.
Right?
Exactly.
Like if you're gonna sit in front of the camera and like talk to people all the time, it makes it better if you don't look like you're sick. Like you were saying, the 6300. I used the 6300 for like 7 months.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was super reliable, except live streaming it would overheat on me, and it made me look like my skin was sallow and like I had black eyes. The everyday mom was like, "What? You look gross. Are you sick?" Like, I'm not sick. It's just that's what happens when you use a mirrorless camera like that.
Or when you have 3 kids, you get these black dark circles anyway. So.
Yeah, that's why you got to film in 720p when you get no sleep because of the kids.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. So since your name's 51 Drones, let me see. So, what are your thoughts? And we'll talk for everybody here because I know all 21 of us. Hopefully, so here's the question. We'll pause a second to interact with the chat. But did anybody get like a notification? So I think I screwed this all up. Normally we have like 50 or 60 viewers, but I think I screwed it up because I did a test earlier today where I sent out I tried doing a test, and I think that like burned my one notification for the day. So did anybody get like a notification that we were live right now, or no? It's okay, no notification tonight. That's what I thought. And there's no way to like send out the notification once you've started. I think you only get the one, and I think okay. So definitely lesson learned. Don't do tests. If you want to do it. So thanks everybody for at least knowing that we do the live stream every Saturday at 8. We really appreciate it. I totally forget what I was about to talk about.
You know what though? I think it was you that told me when we were talking about live streaming, when I was asking you advice on doing it. One of the things that I remember that you told me, make sure you create a dummy YouTube account so you can test out everything before you go live on your reel.
I know, but you're right. You're 100% right, and that's what I normally do. But since I'm trying this thing where I'm streaming on both Facebook and YouTube at the same time, I'm using a broadcast company called Restream.io, which I don't think I'm going to pay them again because I don't think it's worth this headache. But you set like, okay, hey, I'm streaming to this YouTube channel, I'm streaming to this Facebook channel. Send the stream to those 2 places. So I couldn't change that. So the way to do the test to see if it was working, unfortunately got me where we're at today. So where we're at today. So lesson learned, don't double stream. Don't cross the streams. If Ghostbusters taught us anything, it's don't cross the streams. DJI had an announcement today. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, what do you think they're going to release in July?
Well, I did a live stream on that right after they announced it, about a few hours after, and I waffled around quite a bit, trying to, because I was just trying to register the information, and there really wasn't much out there except, from one source, from Drone DJ. But Now that I've had some time to think about it, some time to visit and read and watch a few more videos, I think it's one of three things, or I wish it's one of three things, I should say. Um, in order of my, desire would be a new drone with a 360 camera on it,
Okay.
possibly Mavic Pro 2. But, I think maybe if it is a drone with a 360, I think it's going to be something totally new, a new model, a new series, or something like that. Mavic maybe is, you know, been used enough that they have something new. I saw somebody had a suggestion, the Mavic Ghost maybe that'd be kind of cool. But no, I think it definitely 360 based. It's either a drone with a 360 camera, or it's a 360 camera, or it's maybe a lens for, like the Inspire that has 360 capabilities. And so that would be the least of my wishes. I really do hope it is a new drone with 360. And even if it doesn't have 360, I hope it's a new drone, because, new drones bring lots of excitement to YouTube channels, and that's what we like to see. So
Absolutely. Nothing is more exciting than when a new drone comes out.
yeah,
And I still, so I'm excited for new drones like Parrot, announced and released their Nafi. Evo, I guess, is getting ready to release theirs, next week? They're getting ready to release the Evo next week. Now,
25th. Yeah.
now DJI is trying to get into the mix, which really stinks for some of us that live in an area that is not very permissible to drones.
Yeah.
So I still got to figure out where I'm going to fly. So if somebody was at the live stream, somebody was at the show last week and said they were going to shoot me a tweet about where to fly in the DC area. You did not do that. So seriously, I don't know why I'm looking over here like I'm talking. I got to look back. So seriously, if you're out there, I would really appreciate that message to know where I can fly around here, because I still don't know. Yeah, I mean, I hope it's a new drone. Normally when when DJI has these kind of announcements, it's generally for a new drone. When they release things like cool cameras or stuff, they do a much smaller thing. Like what was
Right.
the FLIR camera that came out a couple of months ago? That was like a really small deal. There was no like really big announcement for it. So hopefully it'll be a new drone. I have literally no idea.
Yeah, if it's something small, they'll just post it, and it's right there on DJI website. So, with this much lead time, I think it's going to be definitely something consumer based and something significant. So, I'm looking forward to it.
So are you just, here's a question. Are you just trying to throw us out, like, are you trying to like throw the scent? Like you can tell us if you're already under an NDA and you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
You can
Oh God,
you
I
just
wish.
like you can like wink or like, no, I get it. You don't know.
Yeah, everybody that's watching right now, yeah, go ahead and send a message to DJI and say, hey, you should send your drones to drone guys instead of, you know, people like Casey Neistat. Of course, you're going to probably get more sales with Casey Neistat, but I think if you're going to send drones to people, send them to people that do YouTube channels on drones. It would just make sense to me, but that's just me. So, but DJI, if you're watching, I'm not going to beg, but I certainly would welcome whatever's coming.
Well, I mean, look, I appreciate you hamming it up right now for us. Right?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, we'll head to the chat. Lover of tech, man, this live stream is so crispy. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah.
The basic pilot, mine 60p right now. I am currently streaming, so we're doing gigabyte internet. So this live stream is coming out at 1080p, 60 frames per second. So it should be looking pretty good. For those of us that are curious, we've talked about the A7 III for a while. Both of us, 51 Drones and myself, are current A7 III users. I'm streaming on mine, so I can't show it to you, but it is so good. So good. Bill Utah, congratulations on 30K. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I don't know that I'm going to do I just haven't had time to make thanks to everybody for 30,000 subscribers video. I'll probably save that for like 50,000. I'll do like a big video, but thanks to everybody that watches, like legitimately. Like you start this journey with like nothing, and as it works, it's so humbling to me that 30,000 people have decided to subscribe. So thanks so much, everybody. I really, really appreciate it.
Yep.
Manny Sanchez, what lens for my A7 III? I'm currently using the Sony 28mm f2, which on a full frame lens, I mean, yeah, it destroys. Like, this background has no chance. It's gone. There is no background. And something that will be here tomorrow. So I'm kind of, so on Saturdays I like to do my like my narrative. Like, I like to do all the talking head stuff for the weekly videos. But I'm gonna get like an LED light strip for back here, so it's gonna be colored instead of just like this gross paint. This is not my house. This is somebody else's house that I'm renting, so I can't paint the walls. I would paint that like white or something, because that color is gross. See this color? That color is gross. Owner, if you're, I don't know why the owner of this house would be watching my live stream, but if you're watching, paint a different, don't paint like, ugh. But anyway, so
it just looks like smoker white. That's what it looks like.
I know, right?
Smoker's white.
So, you know, 51 Drones is his new camera, the A7 III. I've also been trying out a new camera, which there will probably be multiple videos about this week. But my very first Canon camera, the EOS M50. So if you have a question about the M50, you can go ahead and leave it in the chat, and we can talk about it. So 51 Drones is a Nikon user. Have you ever used the Nikons for, like, video? Have you ever used your Nikons for video?
No, it's worthless. There's no point using a Nikon for video. They are out of the video game. They've tried, but they can't even come close to Canon. So it's strictly photography, and I mean, the autofocus just isn't there, and so that's kind of why I went to Sony, because I'm selling my Nikon, all my Nikon stuff, just so I can put money into the Sony now. So.
Because you're gonna need it.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely more expensive. You know, there's so many more lenses, so much affordable glass and things for Nikon. It's not like that for Sony. Sony stuff costs money, but
so much.
It's
money.
Also quality stuff. So.
Yeah, no, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of spoiling the conclusion for Wednesday's video, but you may notice that there's a camera missing right now, and it's the A6500. So everybody watching should still watch the Wednesday video, but the conclusion of Wednesday's video is that the M50 is now my new, like, location camera. So I like the A6300, but I did not like the A6500. Out of something about it, I don't know. I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm having trouble finding words to describe, but I did not like it. When you're recording 4K outdoors, you basically can't use the screen, which if you can't use the screen on a camera, like, it's just little things like that. And so 51 Drones and I we're chatting a little bit before the stream. The things that I look for most in a camera, especially one that I'm going to be using to make this online content, is it just has to work. There has to be, like, less barriers between me hitting record and then me uploading the footage. And if I'm going out to film B-roll or talking head stuff outside and I got to fumble around with the screen, and I loved, I have a monitor on the Sony camera right now, which is, I mean, it's fine, but it's just an extra level of hassle. And that was one of the things about the 63 and the 6500, was just that extra level of hassle. And something that I really, really like about this M50 is there's almost no hassle. Like, this is a hassleless camera. So that might be the title I just thought of that right there. That might be the title of the video on Wednesday. Instead of a mirrorless camera, it's a hassleless camera. I mean, it's also, I know that people in the chat are laughing. The people in the chat are definitely laughing at that one. But yeah, this M50 surprises me. I thought I was going to hate it, because the first time, we were talking about Peter McKinnon a little bit ago. The first time I saw anything about the M50 was him talking about it. And not that I think he does a bad job, but he's a Canon guy, so of course he's going to say good things about the Canon camera. That's kind of what he does.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll take his word with a grain of salt. And then I kind of left this go for a while, but I did get this in, and it's so good. You should still watch the videos. Monday, we're going to do the initial impressions, and Wednesday, we're going to do the A6500 versus the M50. But yeah.
How's the stabilization?
It's terrible. It's awful. Don't buy it for the stabilization. It's got electronic image stabilization, which I mean, the only good electronic image stabilization, I've ever seen has been the GoPro Hero 6. Every other electronic image stabilization is terrible. Even the in-body image stabilization on the A7 III is not great. The only thing it's good for, in my opinion, is taking photos, because it takes out like, oh, I'm shaking. Are we good? Can I take the photo? But it doesn't do like handheld stuff very well. And the stabilization, this is terrible. But the things that I really like about the M50. So I found, one of the things I found was filming my B-roll or filming location stuff. I never really filmed in 4K. I like slowing stuff down, so it was always in 1080p, 60 frames per second, which the M50 does. And I like the, something that you get used to with Sony cameras is not having the front-facing screen. I mean, here, I'm not using it right now, but here's my monitor that I used to have to drag with me everywhere. Now I just keep it in the studio because it just stays on my cage for my A7 III, because I don't have to. When you're messing with a Sony camera, I love Sony cameras, but when you're messing with a Sony camera and you want to do like narrative stuff, that means a monitor, which means a cage and a mount and batteries and cables and stuff that adds time to clicking record and then uploading, which ain't nobody got time for that.
Well, hopefully you trust it enough so you don't have to be using the crutch of a monitor, right?
See, that's true. And I did do a lot. I did do a lot of stuff. I've got like 3 videos before I ever got a monitor with the A7 III where you did. And that's one of the nice things. And I think I mentioned this in, what video was that? I think it was the cheapest vlogging camera you could get at Walmart video, where I was talking about if you can have good autofocus or a flip screen, you're doing pretty well. Like the GH5 has terrible autofocus, but it's got a flip screen. You can kind of tell when you're in focus. But you can't tell if it's hunting for focus while you're looking at the camera, which is the big thing. Because like I said earlier, I want to love the GH5 is like my perfect camera, except the autofocus is terrible.
But now the firmware I've read really fixed that.
Yeah, but there's no way. So I know they did just come out with that firmware, but the thing about anything that's contrast based is it's always, anytime you move, it will hunt. Like that's how it works. It has to hunt for the focus, and you'll notice that, especially if you start shooting like shallow depths of field, it'll be super obvious when it's hunting, and that is so unfortunate, because I want to love that camera. If the GH5 with dual pixel autofocus would probably be my perfect camera, because it's got great ergonomics, 4K 60, 180 1080p. It's amazing. It's got a full So one of my biggest complaints about the A7 III is this crappy mini HD or micro HDMI port on the side. If it had a full HDMI port, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Whew, man, that was a big rant. Big rant.
a couple things I'd like to address here in the chat. I'm going back a little bit. I see 400 AGL's asking, he has this 7100. He's asking for a recommendation for a replacement without busting the budget. I have the 7200, so pretty much the same camera. But yeah, I was going to say the M50 looks great. The other one is the Canon 6D Mark II. That's a little more, but I think the Canon M50 is like $600, right? Or $700, something like that.
Yeah, it's currently on sale for $700. That's
you can't,
with the kit lens, and yeah.
You can't beat that. That's great. I would go that route for sure. And then what was the other question I saw here I wanted to address? Well, I don't know. I'll find it later.
So yeah, I see a few people talk about the SL2, and I considered getting the SL2 over the M50 because the SL2 and the M50 are, I don't want to say they're the same camera, but they're very, very similar. Except the SL2 the SL2 is a DSLR, which has a mirror. This is a mirrorless camera. But here's what I like about the M50 over the SL2 is that you get access to the EFM lenses, which are tiny. Look at how tiny that's the kit lens. Yeah. It's not great, but look how tiny that thing is. And with an adapter, which the EF to EFM adapter, I have it over there, and I'm buried in all this like computer stuff, so I can't get to it right now. But there's an adapter that you can get that very easily goes EF to EM, and it lets you use all the Canon's lenses. I got a 50mm 1.8 lens with it, and it works perfectly. The autofocus works, the dual pixel autofocus works perfectly with it. So that's the thing is, this opens up like a world of. So I'm planning on going to like the conventions next year. I'd like to start going to NAB, to CES, stuff like that, and I would be afraid to leave my Sony camera somewhere because somebody will probably steal it.
Right.
If I can like do interviews and stuff where I just set this up somewhere where it's super light, nobody's gonna notice it. Something that I like, and you guys are kind of getting all the secrets out of the videos this week, but it's got a really great audio limiter. So one of the problems when you're doing audio is, especially if you have a very loud voice like some of us, you can easily overwhelm your preamps and you get like peaking and stuff. This has an auto limiter, so if you start getting really loud, it limits it down and you won't peak while you're using this. And I don't know. So like I said, I considered the SL2 because I natively wanted to get something like the Sigma 18 to 35 for it. But when I found the adapter for these, and I hesitate. So here's the thing: is something that drives me crazy is everything has to be a vlog camera now. Like every camera that comes out has to be able to vlog in some way, shape, or form. Well, I hate vlogging. I vlogged for like 40 days once, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. So I don't necessarily need a vlog camera. I just need like a solo. So I'm not gonna call them vlogging anymore. I'm gonna call them like solo content creator cameras. It's not solo content. The sick cameras. So it's not vlogging. It's sicking. We need sicking cameras.
Yeah.
That it's just you need stuff like the autofocus. You need stuff like the screen really helps. You don't need a screen. You know, I've been operating without a screen for a long time, but having the screen, and this is actually something I shot earlier today while I was getting mauled by mosquitoes that I need to reshoot tomorrow, which is awesome because I get to go back out into the. If you've never been to Northern Virginia, the mosquitoes here are aggressive is not the right word. Like they're on a whole other level of like insanity. It's nuts. I've never seen anything like it. They're the what is it called? It's the ones that do like the West Nile virus or the Zika. We've got like the Zika mosquitoes here.
Wow.
They are intense. And so I go to set up like my shot and I'm like, hey everybody, I'm the everyday dad. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. And I've got like I hear the swarm coming in. And but yeah, no, it's been great. I also, speaking of Nikon cameras, I used a Nikon camera like once. My wife has an old Nikon like 5100, and that was, I tried using that at first, but like I didn't know anything about autofocus, so I'd have the camera set up and be like over here, and I'd be trying to do the single point focus, and then you'd lean forward and it would focus on your face, and then you'd go back and you're out of focus. So I had to get like a stick. I got like a stick to like reach out and hit the focus button, and it didn't work very well. No. Bill Utah, to answer your question, it does have a flip screen, and it works really well. It's a really, hold on, well, that's what you guys look like. Hold. Something I don't like about the kit lens is you have to like get it ready. So that's what you guys look like right now. You guys are this camera, and you guys are now being autofocused on by the M50. Look at that. There's the ring light. There's you guys. It's just the circle of the internet.
The other question, I found it here. Manny Sanchez asked, he wants to trade in his kit lens for Sony, and he's wondering about the 16 to 35, 24 to 70, or 24 to 105. Both of those first ones are gonna break your bank, Manny. They're $2,000 lenses. That 24 to 105 is probably the best choice. It's f4. You still get nice shallow depth of field, but for about $1,200. So.
If you can find it, they've been sold out for a minute.
You can't find it, but you just keep checking. I mean, that's going to be your best option, I think. For a zoom lens anyway.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like about the A7 III is you could even get a prime lens, and like I mentioned in my video that I released yesterday, this prime lens can get 3 focal lengths really easily. It's currently 28 millimeters, but I have this in crop mode right now, so that it's not like all up like right here. But it's in crop mode, so it's more like I think it's a 40. It's kind of like a 40 millimeter equivalent. I think that's the math on that. And then from there, I could zoom in even more and make it like a 55, 60 millimeter equivalent. The A7 III is just so stinking versatile. So just so that everybody can make fun of me now, and we can all get the gasps and the. If you follow me on Twitter, which you should follow me on Twitter, the link is it in the. It's somewhere. I'm like the everyday dad on Twitter. It's in the description. But So I'm considering getting a cinema camera. Because, like I said, I want like something that just makes it easy to upload, and if it's something that I can just get into the routine of using. And something I'd like to do is start up like a side business of like doing interviewing, recording, stuff like that. I can't really do that on the A7 III because it only records for 30 minutes. So I am considering getting a cinema camera. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah, just make fun of my gear acquisition stuff now if you want to. There's a guy on Twitter, Tomas Viegas, that's really been trying to push me towards it, and I think I might do it. I think I might do it. Okay, so we've been going for about 35 minutes. If you want, 51 Drones, if you want to hang out, we can keep going. I know I told you about 30 minutes, but this is about the point where I want to start getting into the chat. If you want to hang out, you know, you're more than welcome to stay. And
yeah, I'll hang out for sure.
Okay, let's see here. So we'll start. If you have questions or anything, we'll start going through the chat now. If this is your first live stream with us, thanks for watching. We're calling this the Pillars of Action now because it's like the only cool thing that I've ever come up with for names on the channel. You can get this podcast tomorrow. All the major outlets should have it. And if you don't see it there, you can go to anchor.fm. The link's in the description below, where we're calling it the Pillars of Action, where we're going to talk about the same things we talk about normally. It's just going to be in podcast format. So we're going to start. If you have questions or something, we'll do the like the interaction stuff now. Bill Utah, M50 $700. The Sony A7 III is 3 times more. Which does it better? I think the A7 III is 100% worth the value. Like the money you spend on the A7 III, it's more. It's 3 times more, but I think it's 3 times better. Both cameras are fantastic. Neither, and that's the thing about cameras these days. They're all good. Nothing's really bad. Like, and I get so angry. Like, I get comments on, so I have a video, the S9 versus the RX105, and I get comments where, you don't know, your cameras are always going to be better, blah, 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 blah. What do you mean a cell phone's never going to be better? Yes, it is. Cell phones the cameras are all good. The only reason a camera wouldn't be good is like if it doesn't have the features you need, like autofocus. If you are behind the camera, autofocus doesn't matter. So maybe Nikons are perfectly fine for you. The Nikon D850 is one of the top selling cameras on the market today because people don't use it to be in front of the camera. If you're in front of the camera, then yeah, you're going to need autofocus and everything. But the cameras these days are amazing. They are just so good. So you're never going to find anything that's really bad. But so like the M50 is absolutely worth $700. The A7 III is absolutely worth the asking price. If you were to only get one and it was going to be like your very first video camera, I'd probably go with the M50 just because it's incredibly light and it is small. Do I have the lens cap so I can hold on? I want to show this to you guys because, like, the shocking thing. So I've been using small cameras, like the A6300 is a small camera. Oh darn, it's the wrong cap. Okay, I don't have the lens. Oh, here it is. My office is currently trashed. Because the family's gone, I can kind of live like a pig, and have been. Whoop! And I just dropped something. But this camera is insanely small. Like. That is that's one hand. Like, it's tiny, but it's packed with a lot of stuff. So there are no bad cameras right now. Long story long, there are no bad cameras right now. And Lloyd Mendenhall, the Grumpy Vlogger, $4.99 to start me on my way to my cinema camera. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, Lloyd. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm seriously considering a cinema camera. I'd have to get rid of my A7 III, which will break my heart. But yeah, I probably will. What are your thoughts, 51 Drones, on the like the cheaper cameras versus the more expensive cameras?
Well, I think it depends on what are you using it for, really. I mean, if you're taking video of your family to share with family and friends, I think the M50 is the way to go. Excuse me, but if you're looking to make money, maybe have a YouTube channel, maybe create some content and some images that you can make some revenue off of, then I think to save you time and hassle, then I would spend a little more money and get something like the A7 III or maybe even a C200. So it just depends on what your goals are, really. So, and then, if you have expendable income, so
No, absolutely. And that's a point that gets lost a lot is what are you and I'm believe me, of all of us, I am the least in the least best position to judge anybody about their gear purchases because
yeah,
I like to purchase a lot of gear.
that's right.
I like to sell gear and I like to buy gear, and we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on it. But something that I will say is, what are your requirements? Because there is no. Whoops! I just screwed something up. What did I just? Okay, where's the volume? There we go. Mute that. So you got to figure out what your requirements are, and then you can base your income on that. And this will meet most people's requirements. It does shoot 4K, and the 4K is not terrible. It's just it's going to be really cropped, and you're not going to get the good autofocus. Daniel Baldry, what sort of cinema camera am I looking at? I'm considering getting the Canon C200, which does 4K 60. It does 1080p 120. It's got the XLR microphones. It does everything that I need a camera to do. It does all of this that I've got set up right now in a camera body. Like, so instead of having all of this stuff like set up with this mixer hub, with this setup, with these cables, everything that I'm currently trapped behind, it does it all in just one package. Which, like 51 Drones was saying, one of the things if you're going to be making content a lot is like the more friction there is, the less likely you are going to be to do it. So, like. I'm seriously considering it. $10 for 400 AGL. I'll pitch in on the new gear fund, but you have to share it with the everyday wife. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And she gets her cut. Don't worry. 400 AGL. She makes sure that she gets her. I don't know if she's watching tonight. She's probably having fun with her family. I doubt she's watching.
Well, I would like to interrupt you and say I'd like to be a fly on the wall when she watches this because you haven't even really brought up the C200 idea to her yet. So this might be interesting to see.
It's Father's Day. It's Father's Day tomorrow. How mad could she be?
Right?
That's the time to bring it up.
How do you think I got this thing?
I know. I should be like, well,
Father's Day. It's Father's Day.
You can't be mad at me. I'm the best dad ever. You got me the shirt.
That's right.
You got me the shirt that says it.
Yeah.
Lover of tech, people who spend the money on a 1DX Mark II might as well get the C200. I don't understand the 1DX Mark II. I don't get it. I don't understand why somebody would buy it. I think that is an overpriced. I get it. You want a full frame camera. If you want a full frame camera, get the Sony A7 line. The 1DX is what? It's $4,500 for the body. I mean, you get access to the Canon lenses. It's full frame, great. But you can only shoot 4K or the slow motion to the CFast 2 card. And Canon's codec for the CFast 2 card is not like you'll use a 256 gigabyte CFast card in like 20 minutes. Like nobody can store that kind of data. Like that is not content creation. Like maybe if you're a professional like Peter McKinnon using the 1DX Mark II and you have the hardware to do it, absolutely. But yeah, the 1DX Mark II, Yes, yeah. Daniel Baldry saying the cell phone cameras aren't as good as the cameras, like saying man will never walk on the moon. It drives me crazy. I get comments all the time on that video. Cell phone cameras will never do big sensor size, blah, 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 blah. Look, cinema cameras are not full-frame cameras generally. Well, some of them are, but a lot of times they're Super 35, which is this size sensor. It drives me nuts when people tell me that, and it's, The basic pilot, does the M50 have clear HDMI out during record? It should. I think, hold on, let's find out right now because I've got a monitor right in front of me. I think it doesn't like standard, so when you set it up, I don't have the battery in. When you set it up, it does not, but I think you can turn off all the info and then get it set up. I don't want to give you bad info, but it should be able to do it. Let's find out because we got the monitor here, which is pretty great. 51 Drones, if you're looking for a monitor, this cheapo Andy Scene 4K is pretty great.
I did look at it. Yeah, it's like what is it, like 100?
It's like 100. It's like 150.
150. Yeah, that's not too bad. I'm gonna try it without a monitor for a while, see how it goes, and
you can also use your cell phone if you need to.
Right.
It absolutely works. I don't know why people were saying that it doesn't work beforehand, but it 100% works.
But if I'm flying my drone at the same time,
touche,
then I can't. use my cell phone for that. So we'll see. I don't do that too often, but yeah, I'm just hoping that I won't have to even ever worry about it. Just get my framing done and hit record and then go. So
Does it? I know. So I was watching a live stream this week with Kino Tika. If you guys don't follow Kino Tika, he's got a really great camera channel, and they were I think they were live streaming from their Canon M50, and they had it set up where it wasn't doing it. But right now I'm having, like, it's not doing a clean output. I turned off all the info, but it's still saying things like, hold on, can I get it to, it's hard to focus on screens. So it's not totally clean right now. I think there is a way, but I can't get it to work right now. What do we got going on in the chat? Lover of tech, shout out to all the gearheads. They say gear doesn't matter, but secretly it does, man. I love talking about gear. I love talking about gear. That's the whole reason I have a YouTube channel, is I like talking about camera gear, and it just kind of helps out that other people like talking about it. Because I don't know, I've never been a big camera person until about, what, like 18 months ago, and then cameras have just kind of like consumed my life. The basic pilot, why stop at C200, go for a red? Well, see, because the C200 actually is like everything I need. It's not about getting the most expensive camera. It's got the dual pixel autofocus. It's got the Super 35 sensor. It's got the XLR mics. It's basically everything I want in a camera in one package for like all of this stuff. A red does not have autofocus. The file sizes are outrageously big. The memory card's like $1,000.
yeah.
So we that's not something I know. Hold on, I'm going. I have not been able to see everybody. Yeah, 1DX2 is overpriced camera. Every time I watch, you only answer those who donate. Josh, it's Gosh. Hold on. So Gosh, it's Josh. Every time I watch, you only answer those who donate. So I've answered questions from a whole lot of people today, and I've had 2 super chats. So if you're still here, I would say
the question that he asked is he has a GoPro Hero 6 and a MacBook Pro, and he's wondering, how do you get over what did he say? Oh, how do you get over freezing up in front of the camera, like when you first started your channel? I'll answer it a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, you just have to pretend that you're talking to your best friend or your wife or your girlfriend or somebody, and just pretend you're having a conversation with them, kind of like Ted and I are having a conversation right now. And don't think of it as, you know, I'm making a video that, you know, thousands of people potentially could watch. Think of it as you're just visiting with someone about whatever your content may be. So if your content is about gear, just, hey, I got this new camera, I want to show it to you. What do you think about it? And, you know, it just comes down to getting it out of your head that, you know, you're not going to be presenting to a whole group of people. And then also having confidence in your editing skills so you can cut out all of the ums and the ahs and the things like that. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, there's a lot of cuts, and that's because I say ah all the time. So, you know, those two things put together, you know, just having a conversation with someone and then knowing that you're able to kind of cut out those times, and don't be afraid to pause. Like when you're doing, you know, the talking head stuff, the A-roll stuff, don't be afraid to take a pause, because there's pauses in normal conversations. So if you pause during something you're presenting, it's not that bad of a thing. And so I think people get in a like, oh my gosh, I paused, now I have to start over, and then they get all flustered, and then so that's where the, you know, the anxiety comes from. So
yeah, and the only thing I would add to that is repetition.
Yeah,
the more times you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll eventually, so something that I would recommend is find like a content creator that you really like their stuff of, and kind of like try to figure out how they did what they did and what you like of what they did. And I would just say, like, I would not necessarily fake it till you make it, but I would say imitate what they're doing. Like, maybe not steal their content, but be like, hey, how did he do this shot? Let's do it this way. And then eventually, as you get reps in, you'll figure out what you like, how you like your videos to look, what your content production workflow is, and you'll naturally get your own form. You just gotta You just got to figure, like, get the reps. You just got to start going. You just got to do it and then do it and then do it and then do it and just keep going. Yeah, you just got to keep doing it. Lover of Tech Dave, all oh, yeah, Kinotique is amazing. Lloyd Mendenhall, me or mate, just suck-ups. 400 ADL, pretend you're on a speakerphone. Yep. I hate editing, too. What else? The basic pilot, I use the same teleprompter as you, and I need to zoom in quite a bit to clear the edge. Do you do the same on 28mm? No, I could just use it normally. Like, it just works. I've never had to zoom in to make it not in frame. It's that little teleprompter is worth its weight in gold. So, like 51 Drones is saying, you know, pause and stuff like that. But one of the things that happened to me, but when before I got this teleprompter, is I'd set my phone up with, like, my script would be like right here, and I'd have to look, and then I'd look up and I'd forget what it said, and then I'd have to look, and then it just added a whole bunch of time into it. So this little teleprompter just makes it so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, the teleprompter is on my wish list. It's in my Amazon wish list right now, so I definitely will be getting one, because actually what I do sometimes, if it's a long video and I don't want to have to think about it too much, I'll print it off and I'll stick it on a clipboard, and then I'll clamp the clipboard to my tripod, and it's right underneath my camera, so you know I can always refer to it if I need to. But yeah, I do that often. So
oh yeah, you got to. Like, I used to not script anything, and you'd get like 30-minute videos of me just rambling on and on and on and on, and nobody wants to hear anybody talk for 30 minutes that's just rambling. Like, nobody does. So I like doing a script now, and I don't always, like, just because it's the script does not mean you have to, like, verbatim go. I like to think as the script as an outline where it keeps me on track, but then if I think of something better to say, or I think of a better way to say it, or, you know, I'll do like maybe 1 or 2 takes, and whichever one's better I'll edit. But yeah, editing sucks. I need to hire an editor. If the channel, when we hit 100,000 subscribers, I'm probably going to hire an editor, because I hate editing so much. I love the filming. Filming is my favorite part, but then sitting down and cutting it all is the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Mark Attardo, do the teleprompter scroll? Yeah, it's just this little, here, I'll show you. It's this little app that is a mirror. Well, it's the teleprompter, and then you download their app. And then, here, I'll pull up so this is the script for the YouTube studio video I did. And it just, come on, focus. This is not the camera's fault. It's just on a screen, it's trying to focus on itself. So it's mirrored. So it doesn't make any sense now. But when it's on its thing in a mirror under here, it perfectly scrolls up. And yeah, it just scrolls. You can zoom back and forth. You can pause it. It's actually, the first time I saw it, I was like, how lame is that? Who needs a like a teleprompter? Like, that's lazy. But it has saved me so much time. It has easily paid for itself just in the time saving. So a resource, if you ever, who says this? Is it Gary Vee that says this? Where, like, time is the resource. I'm sure a lot of people say this, but, like, time is the resource that is non-refundable. Like, there's no way to get more of it. And so if something's going to cost me time, I will value time over money, which is why I have the teleprompter, which is why I'm considering getting a just ridiculously, disgustingly, I'm scared to think about the cost of the camera. Why I'm thinking about getting an expensive camera, because it saves me time. Lloyd Mendenhall, I'm retired, so daily vlogging is no problem for me. Oh, I vlogged for 46 days straight, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. So people that can daily vlog, my hat's off to you, because I hated it. And my wife hated it. She hated it. Oklahoma Droner, I love editing my drone footage. Love the feeling when it gets all done and I watch it for the first time completed. That's awesome. Like, everybody loves a different part of, like, the video. Whoa, I just kicked the camera. The video workflow. I hate editing so much. Whoa, and I just dropped. Man, I'm just dropping all sorts of stuff. This is exactly why I need a C200, so I don't have all this stuff. Like I'm currently, like, buried in cables. I'm sure if a fire marshal were to come in here, or a safety inspector would be like, sir, why are you literally tied up in cables? Because I've got the mixer back here, I've got the microphone right here with its cable. I've got the charging cable for the A7 III because you can charge it from the USB-C while in use, which is amazing. HDMI cable, Ethernet cable, charging cable for the computer. As I'm saying this, I'm like, wow, this is a terrible idea. The Mac Gamer, I just got my first action camera. What would you recommend in shooting with them to get the best looking shots? Just again, you just got to use them. Like depending on what action camera you got. I always set action stuff to 60 frames per second. That's my standard. I will not do action camera stuff in 30 frames per second because stuff moves so fast. You got to have 60 frames per second. So at least do 1080p 60. And then just try getting different angles. Like the thing about making footage interesting is, so where's my book at? I have a book here that's called How to Shoot Video That Doesn't Suck. And if you're curious about making videos of any kind, check out that book. It'll explain. But you got to think of video as in scenes, not necessarily in shots, not necessarily in like, hey, look at me talking. This is me talking. Like, I mean, that's important, but you want to think of like, how is this scene gonna lead into what I'm trying to get across? So it's easy for me as somebody that likes to talk about gear. Hey, my shots are, if I'm doing unboxing, you know, you gotta think of the hero shot. Like there's other terms you could use for that. This is a family-friendly channel. I won't say what the other terms for that might be. But you got to think of like the hero shot. What is important of this? In an unboxing, the hero shot is pulling the camera out of the box. Like, oh, look at how, like, this is what a person would experience. Like, this is what it feels like. And like with drone stuff, it's, I guess, the overhead shots, stuff like that. But you got to think what's the hero shots and how do you incorporate that, and like how to, even in action, you can get hero shots. So if you're doing a mountain bike, like, hey, I know this turn's coming up ahead. I definitely want to get me on it. And don't just like, you don't necessarily have to. So I keep my action camera like right here. But if I'm trying to get a cool shot, you don't always have to keep it like right there. The magic of editing is you can do whatever you want. You could take that camera, set it, you know, somewhere else as it like gets you riding by, and then you can stop, go get it, edit it back in. Nobody can tell the difference. Angles make things interesting.
Yep.
The basic pilot, can you get the card out of the M50 without removing it from the mount? No. My biggest frustration with the M50 is the door here. Look how big that door is, and look where it's at. Like that's the tripod mount. It's so like the only way I can make it relatively easy is the EF to EM adapter that I have. Has its own little tripod mount on it, so the camera's actually mounted like right about there. So then I can do it, but not normally. Not normally. Carlos Jamalin, yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Lover of tech, I'm waiting for the Z Camera E2. Makes the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. Yeah, I saw the Z Camera E1 looked pretty impressive. I haven't heard anything about the Z Camera E2. But 4K 120 frames per second? Ooh, I don't have that would... I try editing 4K 30 frames per second on my 2015 MacBook, and it melts. Like it wants to catch on fire. So yeah. I am very interested in the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. I doubt I'll be able to get it if I do get a cinema camera, but that looks impressive. It also has XLR it also has XLR ports. It has full HDMI. The things that I don't like about it, I mean, I guess the articulating screen is not a big deal when you've got a monitor, but it doesn't have autofocus. I guess that's really the big thing. And I don't like Micro Four Thirds mounts. I just don't. I don't. Brighton Vlogger, I have cables which I have no idea what they're for. Well, which ones? Talk to me about cables. We're 51 drones. We're about an hour. That's where we normally start or stop. But my family's not here, so I'll probably go for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm probably going to head out if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Everybody, if you have not yet subscribed to 51 Drones, 100% go over to his channel and subscribe to him. Thanks so much for joining us. I asked him on here at a super late notice, so I do really appreciate you coming on tonight, because I think we're going to... So every time you come on, I learned some valuable lessons because I screw something up generally, because the first time you came on, I screwed up the Skype stuff. No, you helped me figure out some problems. So thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. See y'all later.
Absolutely. Have a great night.
You too.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, my family's not here, so we'll go for a little bit longer because, you know, ain't nobody got anything else going on. Yeah, the Matt Gamer. That's what I said. Just hold on. I'm way too high up in the thing. Oklahoma Droner recommendations for a compact camera for picture. Space is an issue. If space is an issue but price is not, the RX100 series is a pretty good. If you're just looking for photos, I would say your cell phone. But if you want something a little better, the RX100 line is great. The LX10 from Panasonic is like half the price of the RX105, and it's pretty darn good. If you're doing video, though, it has the contrast-based autofocus, which is not as good. The basic pilot, if I tried running 2 cam links at once, I have not. I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet, mainly because there's been no need. If I started doing something where like you needed to see my hands, I could have a camera above me, and I could do it that way. I've thought about it, but I haven't done it yet. Steve Carpenter, funny show tonight. Thanks. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, let's. We talked about the A7iii. If anybody has any final questions about the M50, like this thing, like I said, I saw this. I was like, Ken, what are you doing? Your camera's dumb. You don't know what you're doing. You've clearly ceded your throne to Sony because you're giving up everything about it. But I am really darn. If you want to see like me having shot, I've spent a full production cycle with the M50 now. So I made one whole video. I did the B-roll, the A-roll. I did all the narrative work. I did all the cam stuff. So if you go watch my video about the A7iii that I released yesterday, I think there's a card. Do I have a card that I can show? Can I show the card now? I don't know if I don't think it showed, but if you just watch the video from yesterday, you'll see that everything was shot on the M50, which is pretty darn. It's a pretty darn impressive camera. Pretty awesome. Thomas Gerardis, thanks for coming out. Really appreciate it. 400 AGL, would you give me your opinion on the package I'm looking at if I link it in the comments after the show? Yeah, just shoot me a tweet or a DM in the tweet and a DM in the tweet. Shoot me a private message on Twitter and I'll check it out. What do we got? Happy Father. Yeah, Mark Tardo, thanks so much. Yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody. No big deal, but I am the best dad ever. Oh, you can't. The best dad ever. The Everyday Family got me this as they're out of town tonight. The base pilot, I hope that you were not offended by my comment on your editing that I made on the video. I doubt it. I can't. So I have a terrible short-term memory. Like, my wife, jokes at me for saying, ha 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 ha. Grumpy Vlogger, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. My wife likes to make fun of me for my short-term memory. She's like, you just have selective memory. You don't like remembering what I have a terrible, the last 5 years of my life have been very rigorous when it comes to work, and I think all my short-term memory circuits are blown, so it could have been that bad. I don't remember it, so I generally am not a person that takes offense to stuff. I do appreciate constructive criticism. If it's constructive, there's no issue with that. Rick Halber, $15. Take the Everyday Kid out for ice cream. Well, thanks so much, Rick Halber. I really appreciate it. We definitely will. When he gets back, I will. Yeah, if you have any other final questions, we'll just we'll close this out. We'll do another 15 minutes. We'll go to an hour and 20 minutes of streaming, and then we'll close it. We'll close it out. Mark Attardo, can you live stream with the M50? You absolutely can. There is a way to do it. I can't figure it out right this second, but I saw them. I saw Kinotika do a live stream with theirs. It's got an HDMI out. It's a mirrorless camera, so there should be a way to do the clean HDMI. I can't figure it out right here on stream, but yeah, this thing is so good. I just look how small it is. That's an APS-C mirrorless camera that I can palm, and I have small hands. Lover of Tech, Aver Media has the new Elgato Camlink Killer coming in 25th June. Captures 4K 30 HDR, plug and play like Camlink, and works well over USB. Nice. There are other companies that have better stuff. Out than the Camlink. The reason I like the Camlink is it works and it's easy to use. I used to use the Blackmagic Ultra Studio mini recorder that went through my Thunderbolt port on my Mac. But the problem with that is it was finicky to get working. Sometimes it just did not want to work. And when it did want to work, sometimes it would just stop working. Sometimes I'd get it would work for the test, and then 5 minutes later when I go live, it wouldn't work. So that was frustrating. I just like the Cam Link. It's not really built very well, and I don't like that it's all one dongle because it, like even right now, there's a lot of like downward pressure being put on the port. So eventually that's probably going to give out, but it just works. Like I look for gear that just works. Like that's what's important to me. Bill Utah still liking T-Mobile. I love T-Mobile for what we got, for what we pay for, and what we get here in the Washington D.C. area. It is awesome. It's like I think we did the speed test. It's like 5 times faster than when we had AT&T. It's like $80 cheaper, and it's unlimited. I don't know. I can't speak for T-Mobile everywhere, and I've only had T-Mobile for like a month now, or 2 weeks now. But T-Mobile's been great. T-Mobile's been great for me. Jonathan Maxwell, did I abandon the Sony RX105? If so, what did you not like about it? I did abandon it. The reason I abandoned it, it's a good camera. The RX105, though, is just, like the reason I abandoned it was I would never use it in a situation where I didn't also have something like the M50, or at the time I had the 6500, or I had the 6300. It's like there was no purpose that it served. And it was like $1,000. And if it's just like $1,000, it was cool to have. I really liked the super slow motion on it. I liked the built-in ND filters, but it didn't give me enough to use it. I wanted to buy the RX106 to try for the channel, but I was like, I mean, what? Like it's $1,200. You could get this and you could get a full setup of this for $1,200. I mean, yeah, it does the 4K, but if you want a 4K capable rig for $1,200, you get the A6500. It's APS-C. You could get if you find a one for used, you could get a super fast prime lens. You could get like the A6500 with the Sigma 16mm. I bet you could find that for about $1,200. It's a great camera. It's got the phase detection autofocus, but it doesn't have audio in. Which, I mean, if you make the RX106 or like the future ones with audio in, there is no reason to buy the 63 or 6500 because it's just that good. Gerald Bertram, Everyday Dad, did you ever get the app to work with the Moza Mini Me? I've seen some other reviews use it via Bluetooth. It never worked for me. I tried an iPhone. I tried the Android app. Moza reached out to me and left a comment on the video that they're having an Android app coming out here pretty soon, and that I guess there's a different app for the iPhone. I haven't had a chance to like get back into it. I think not this week, but next week I'll make a video of like the Moza Me versus the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 that we can talk about, and I'll revisit that. That wireless charging though is so good. Like that's just such a good idea. I can't believe somebody didn't come up with that first. I really can't. The basic pilot, you're going to need the Atmos Ninja 5. I want the Atmos Ninja 5. I do. But I like, so if I'm going to stick, so let's say I get the C200. The Atmos Ninja 5 doesn't really give me much because ProRes is not going to do much for me. That I would just do everything in camera. I do a lot of stuff just in camera because that's what I prefer. Like all of this is in camera. I mean, I like the ability to record out of it. If the reason I would get the Atmos Ninja 5 is that I would want to live stream from that. So I would hook that up to the Sony. Then all the live streaming would come from the recorder instead of the camera. And I think that would look amazing. Carlos Jamalin, DJI Ronin S review. Probably not going to do that right now. I would love to do it, but the finances on the channel are, Everyday Dad, you got to slow down on buying the gear. So DJI Ronin S. I think I'm going to have a big gimbal coming. I think. But it's not going to be the DJI Ronin S. And it's not 100% yet, but I think a company's going to send me like a legitimate gimbal to check out. Bill Utah, I just changed over for a friend. She came from Verizon. T-Mobile at her home is 100 times faster down and through. Wow. Yeah, I mean, AT&T was fine where we lived before. Well, it was terrible where we lived before, and we just kind of went with it. The thing that's going to stink is I still owe it on my phone, so eventually that I'm going to have to pay for that. But because like you could do the thing with T-Mobile where they bought you out of your contract, but meh, I just switched with the plan that I wanted because the plan that I wanted is so cheap. It's so good. T-Mobile CEO is the best corporate CEO I've ever seen. I've worked in corporate telecommunications for years, and John Leggery is by far the best CEO. That's awesome. That's awesome. The basic pilot, as you switch out cameras so often, does eBay still make it worth it? Do you take a big hit each time? I have been fortunate so far in selling my stuff that I haven't taken a big hit because I generally buy used, so it's already depreciated when I get it. Like this A7S3, or this A7S3. This A7 III was used. If I sell it on eBay, I might even make money on it because they're still in short supply. So I might, like I said, I might actually make money on it. And I sell, so if you're going to do that, like it's easy if you're a tech reviewer and you can kind of like plan out what tech you're going to get because you can kind of think about, okay, what's going to be a hot item that might be like hard to get a hold of. Like when I got the DJI Mavic Air, I bought 2 of them from 2 different sources to try to get it. And then I made a little bit on it because eBay just, the bids went up when I turned around to sell the new one. So I haven't really had an issue with it so far. Hill Studio Creations, what made you start YouTube? Well, honestly, so one day I was sitting there, I watched a YouTube video from, I forget the name of the channel. We actually looked his channel up on a live stream once. He doesn't make videos anymore. But it was a video about the 3D printer. What was the 3D printer? The Monoprice Select 3D Mini. I saw the guy make a video. I was like, I could do that. And then I bought that 3D printer and I made a video about it. And I just was like, I don't know. The purpose of the channel is I like talking about gear. Like I like talking about home making video gear, even if a lot of it's YouTube stuff. So it's like YouTube/home video making gear. I just like talking about it. So it makes it awesome that I can talk about, all of this stuff. But the actual, like the second like purpose behind the purpose is I want people to watch to know that they can figure it out. That's why I start every video with, if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. I started out this channel not knowing a darn thing about video at all. I didn't know one thing about making a video. I didn't know anything about live streaming. I didn't know anything about YouTube. I am 100% self-taught, and I'm not a very smart person. So seriously, if I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. So that's kind of like the reason I keep doing it. So like here's some, if you're still watching like an hour and 11 minutes in, you're probably somebody that watches my videos a lot. We're kind of in a slump right now. Like the YouTube is a game of ups and downs. The channel, is like, the channel did like big explosions, like 51 Drones was saying earlier. Like when new drones come out, like YouTube channels that review drones are just hot on YouTube. It doesn't matter who gets it. It's hot. But the channel is currently like stagnating with a little bit of a downward trend, which is fine. It's happened before, and it will eventually will take off, and we'll do the same thing all over again. But it's times like this where you got to be like, why am I doing this? And part of it is I like talking about gear. It's something I personally find enjoyable. But I also hope that there's somebody out there watching that's like, I could also do that and get started. And I've had people reach out to me and say, yeah, I didn't know anything either. I started and it's worked out for me. So the reason I do it is I like doing it. But the reason that keeps me doing it the thing that keeps me doing it, even when I'm like, well, the channel's not growing. So like the videos, okay. So here's some like cold, hard YouTube truth. I can't show you because I don't have it set up on here, but so I consider a video successful if it gets like 5,000 views. The video I released yesterday is at like 1,400 views after like 24 hours, which is not good for a channel of about 30,000 subscribers. So you just got to like, every channel goes through it, and you're just like, okay, we got to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and just keep going. You just got to figure it out, and you just got to figure it out, and you keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. Where are we at? Lover of tech, for the fact the autofocus works and you get a proper, legit, clean 4K HDMI mount and you can charge over USB. The A7 III is actually the best live stream camera. I think the A7 III is the best, like, no kidding, the best camera of 2018. It does everything. It does everything. Like you're saying, one of the rare things is it charges via USB-C, which the Lumix G9 does. The GH5 doesn't. It's great. It's great. Sean Cochran, Everyday Dad, do you return some products after reviewing them? I know you said you buy your own stuff. No company has asked me to return anything yet. I've reached out to companies that have not gotten back to me yet, and I'm like, hey, I'll send it back if you want to send it to me, but I have not. The basic pilot, am I going to VidCon next week? I am not going to VidCon next week. I just started a new job like Friday, so as much as I'd like to, I'm not. I want to go to I think there's a camera expo in New York City sometime in the fall I'd like to go to because I'm a lot closer to New York City now. Yeah, maybe VidCon next year. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe next year. Maybe. Carlos Jamelin, how much stuff do I get for free? As I get bigger, it gets more and more common. Anytime I get something for free, you'll hear me say that they sent it to me. Like I got the Removu somebody sent to me, the Moza somebody sent to me. There's some stuff coming now that they're sending to me. What was the last? I don't remember everything. I need to start giving this stuff away. That's something else I want to talk about. Is we're going to start doing the giveaways. So I can't give away the Moza Mini-Me yet, but let's say the Removu. We'll start the giveaways for the Removu next live stream. So if you're watching now, you'll know that next live stream will start. Normally what I'll do is I'll release a picture of it on Twitter or Instagram, and you just follow me on that platform, and then you leave a comment and we'll enter, and then we randomly give it away during a live stream. But that's what we're gonna do. David Ma, am I gonna get the Evo? Not sure yet. I have a pre-order out on the A7iii that I might cancel. I don't know. I really wanted the Evo when it came. So I think I have to decide: do I want the A7iii or do I want the Evo? I'm really intrigued by the A7iii's ability to look up and its digital clear zoom kind of ability. That looks amazing to me. That's super useful. But I also like the Evo with the screen built into the controller, and it's supposed to have some legit obstacle avoidance. I don't know. I don't know yet. Oklahoma Droner, I like watching for vlogging bloopers. Well, I don't have any of those because I do not vlog because it's terrible. Bill Utah, someone's not hydrated at all tonight. I know, right? I actually picked up some Diet Cola with lime. With our cheap moves are expensive. We got to go with the cheap stuff right now. But you're right. I did not. Mark Catardo, did your slump start with the latest algorithm change? You never know. The thing you can't ever worry about is the algorithm of YouTube, because it will change. Subscribers will not get notified, and like right now, nobody got notifications for tonight's live stream, but we got 33 people. We're having fun. We'll fix it for next week. You can't let YouTube get you down, because it will get you down. It will. If you get and I've done this before. I almost quit the channel back in hold on, let me see if I can pull up my analytics here real quick, and I can tell you when, because I almost closed the channel down probably about a year ago, just because like I was really into my analytics, and I was like, oh, the channel's not growing. What am I even doing with my life right now? It's frustrating. There's nothing more frustrating than when you put a lot of work into something that you're not comfortable doing, and you're like, man, I did all this stuff. Why is it not working? And sometimes YouTube just doesn't work. Sometimes it just doesn't work for people, and that sucks. It is not like it's not for the, I don't know. I wish like everybody that wanted to be successful on YouTube could be successful. I really do. But it's not. Like, it is a tough game. And she be a harsh mistress. Okay, here we go. So it was from. So my last really big slump, and I really just about considered quitting the channel because it lasted for over a month, was from August 28th of 2017 to October 5th of 2017. So it went. Can I share this with you? No, I can't because it's on the MacBook. Well, here you can see. Look, can I show this to you? So. Focus. You can't really see. So like right here is what I'm talking about. You see that slump? That was a month of like, so I thought I was like, look at how good I'm doing. Everything's like, it's taken off. Hooray. And then it slumped for a month. Like, that was a dark time. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just need to maybe I'm just not meant for this. Like, maybe I got fortunate with the DJI Spark videos. Maybe, we were able to get that. And that was it for us. Maybe that's all I was meant to do, is to make 3 DJI Spark videos. And, eventually it does better. And YouTube does that. YouTube, like I said, I don't understand their AI. I don't understand their algorithm. But eventually, if you keep putting out good content that people watch, eventually it's ups and downs. Ups and downs. And as you do it, eventually the ups, the ups start to outweigh the downs. Gerald Bertram, Everyday Dad, you have a great personality for video, great combo of humor and knowledge, and for action cam stuff, you're quickly becoming the YouTube authority to go to. Oh, well, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. I'm just a regular guy. I like talking about tech. I know there's other people out there that like talking about it too. I like watching in-depth videos, but I don't go to YouTube for watching in-depth videos. There's not somebody out there that's just like, hey, here's what you really, if you're like me, here's what you really need to know. Here's what sucks about it. Here's what's great about it. That's it. There are thousands of technical, and here's this little button does this if you hit it 3 times, and they're great. Don't get me wrong. But I would just like being like, hey, here's what sucks. Here's what's awesome. That's what we need to know right now. Whoa, what? Oh, whoa, hold on. We got a lot of stuff. 400 AGL, I'll tweet you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Snarfundoodle Foodle. Snarfunder Foodle. What is my all-time favorite camera? The A7 III. By far, the A7 III is my all-time favorite camera. Very close runner-up. It's in my camera bag, which is across the room, is the Sony FDR X3000. Those are my 2 favorite cameras by far of all time. I love those cameras. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're pretty darn awesome. The basic plot, I'm surprised that Jun hasn't sent you a Crane 2. I don't know. I reviewed the Crane M. It's one of my worst videos because I had a big black eye and I was so sick. And I'm surprised anybody watched it, but I did release a video on that. And then they tried putting like links to their stuff in my description. I was like, no, guys, you want to sell stuff to people? You send me something. I'll tell people if I like it or not. I definitely, the Smooth 4 is not growing on me very well. It was all right, but I don't like it as much. Lover of Tech, the Lumix G9 is the next best live stream camera. I liked the Lumix G9 an awful lot. It was my favorite camera as of that point when I used it. What did I not like about it? It had pretty good autofocus. I guess the Lumix G9, I like the Lumix G9 better than the GH5, unless you need the million recording functions of the GH5, or that's pretty much it. I think it's a better online content camera than the GH5. Sean Cochran, I know, just showed up in my recommendations, but not notifications. Yeah, that's my fault. I think so I tried doing a test to see how the restream thing would work, because we're currently streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Is anybody actually watching on Facebook? Joe Barry, hey. Oh, hey, what's up, Joe Barry, if you can hear me. Thanks for watching over on Facebook. I'm sorry I haven't been watching over there, but we're streaming on both. Well, to test it out, I did a test live stream earlier today, but I think it like burned my notification. I think you get like 1 notification a day, and it burned that one. So we're it's kind of stunk. Sean Cochran, YouTube is a crowded place now with really professional looking stuff, hard to compete, and with a great start unlike 5 years back. Yeah, absolutely. This is a tough time. Tough time to get into YouTube right now, or tough time to get into online video in general. It's still doable. There's channels like this year. Like, there's a channel that I watch called, like, I think his name's Mauler. He releases, like, rage videos about movies and video games. And he's gone from, like, 10,000 subscribers to 60,000 subscribers in, like, 2 months. It's totally possible to grow. It's just not as easy to grow in, like, you got to be very unusual to grow that fast. I think we're not, like, blowing up. But we're on a pretty sustainable growth rate that I'm very happy with. And I'm very happy with our growth that we've got going on here. But yeah, it is a hard place to compete. You got to be good, or you either got to be good or you got to have thick skin, because YouTube is not for the thin skin people. Like I want to reach out to I reached out to this guy. What's his name? Dronebo. Hold on, let's find this name. If you guys are on Twitter, reach out to this guy, because I think he's letting the trolls get to him, and just be like, hey dude, it's okay. Hold on, what's his name? Dronebo, or you guys should 100% reach out and be like, look, guy, you know, it does stink when people are jerks. You just gotta keep on keeping on. I just block him. Oh, it's Original Dobo. That's his name. Original Dobo. At Original Dobo. His YouTube channel's the same. I think if you let the trolls get to you, you will lose, because there's a million trolls out there. What's up, Joe Barry? Thanks for joining us. Mark Attardo, hey, thanks for joining us twice. I'm sorry, I'm talking to Facebook. If I look over this way, I'm talking to Facebook. If I look over this way, I'm talking to YouTube. So we'll see how we're going to do it. Oklahoma Drummer, I love having subscribers, but the main reason I post my videos is for anyone to enjoy. Maybe I do something that someone has not thought of before. That's how I started. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You gotta enjoy what you do. Like I said, it's always up and down. It's always up and down. You just have to get up to it. John Karras over on Facebook. Well, I really appreciate it. thanks so much. Yeah, you really have to enjoy what you do, because like I said, like even right now, like I'm sure from the outside, when I was a smaller channel looking at a channel with 30,000 subscribers, I'd be like, how do they do it? They must have the things that are like, they must know what they're doing and everything's working out for them. And even the slightly bigger guys, I'm still a very small channel, but even the slightly bigger guys go through slumps, and you just gotta like there's ups and downs, and you just gotta ride it out, and eventually it will go up again. John Karras, I can't see your message. If you just want to type it into me in the chat over here. I don't see that I have a message right now. It's kind of hard to answer like messages while we're live, but if you shoot it in the chat, I will absolutely watch it. The basic pilot, how much time do I spend in a week on the channel? Well, the last month I've kind of been faking like being a full-time content creator, because I took like 30 days off from work while we did our big move. But in a normal week, I'll spend, I don't know, each video is about what, like 5 hours? Every 7-minute video is about 5 hours. I'm trying to cut that down a little bit, so production value might be going down a bit since now I have my full-time job that I have to go back to, which is fine. I love my job, but yeah, probably about 25, 30 hours a week. 25, 30 hours a week. And that's why it's not, if I wanted to make more money, I'd go work at McDonald's for like 20 hours a week as a part-time job. I just really enjoy doing this. Sean Cochran, I literally bought my Hero 6 and Sony FDR-X 3000 because of your channel. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. Over to Facebook, John Karras, how many action cameras? I have way too many action cameras. Right now I have 6 action cameras. I have the GoPro Hero 6, GoPro Hero 2018, Sony FDR-X 3000. I've got the, if you consider the Removu an action camera, I've still got the Akaso Brave 5 somewhere in here that I still need to sell. And I think I have, oh, the Yeelight. I still have the Yeelight. So yeah, 6 action cameras right now. So many. So many. Okay, wow, we're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. We will, we'll do 10 more minutes because I don't really have anything else going on right now. Gerald Bertram, yeah, the app for the Smooth 4 is terrible. Yeah, Original Dobo, he has all the Evo's videos right now and getting a ton of crap. Yeah, why be that way? Like the internet, the anonymity of the internet can be I almost said something else. It can be a bear. It can be a bear at times. Noriel Sta Maria, off topic, but yeah, I mean, absolutely. 100% channels can get, he released his Rage video about Star Wars, like right about the time that the Rage videos about The Last Jedi's going. I totally agree. Oklahoma Drone, you have 4 thumbs down. Do I have 3? Whatever. It's YouTube. There's always a thumbs down. Like you could release the cure for cancer in a YouTube video and people would still thumbs it down. Yeah. You can't like somebody in the last 3 days I've been called a liar. I've been called an idiot. I've been called a moron. I've been called a D-bag. Somebody said my voice sounds like a D-bag. You seriously cannot, you can't even think of like the angry comments as real people, because I don't think so I think the internet has the ability to like make real people act like not real people. They just like, I don't know, like the anonymity just changes people. Like nobody would come up to somebody else and be like, well, I guess people with, chemical imbalances or like mental issues might say that, but yeah, just don't feed the trolls. I fed the trolls once. There was a photography guy. He actually released like a response video to one of my videos, and I fed that troll, and it was like 2 weeks where I was like, oh my God. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Fritz Alcantara TV, how old am I? I am 34, soon to be 35. Getting there. You can't see my gray hair anymore because I got a haircut, but I am getting a lot of gray. We already talked about why I started the YouTube channel, Fritz. You can absolutely watch. You can watch the replay later and catch out all of that. John Karras, I do a little bit of, over to Facebook, I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Lover of Tech, again, this stream has been awesome, man. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're at 1 hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, or you can be like Dan Mace. But see, I thought that too, but I don't mind because that guy is hilarious. Like, he just, sometimes there are just people where you're like, man, I just need somebody to, like, I want this person to succeed, and I really want Dan Mace to succeed. And I'm glad to see that he is. Yeah, I mean, he has the benefit of being in all of the vlogs, but that guy is legit. I enjoy watching him in the vlogs more than I like watching Casey Neistat in the vlogs. Like, he is just such a good. Every time he says, like, oh, I love you too, Brew. Like, every time he says that, I'm like, oh, I love this guy's the best. I'm so glad he's on the. I'm so glad he's in the videos. Okay, we're at about an hour and 30 minutes. I think we'll go ahead and we'll close this up. We'll close this up for the night. Thanks for everybody for coming out. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to listen to this as a podcast, if you're like, hey, I just want to, see this again, or I want to hear this again. I mean, you can either watch the replay or you can view the pillars of action in the podcast in the description below. Yeah, you can find it. It'll be awesome. I might listen to it tomorrow because I just like listening to. I like listening to podcasts. I don't necessarily like listening to myself as much, but you should definitely listen. All right, everybody. Hey, I can't stop the stream over here. It's over on this computer. Okay, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will catch you guys next week for more The Pillars. Oh, I've got neighbors that are probably sleeping right now. The Pillars of Action, 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 action. Have a great